Me, 34M. My ex-wife, 35F. Call her ex. My neighbor, AP. My neighbor's wife, 37F. Call her M. Me and my wife married in 2009. We had our baby in 2010. In November 2010, while she was asleep, a message pooped on her phone and was a flirty message. I checked on her phone and it was from our neighbor. I went through every single message, which included sexting, sharing nudes, and even had planned meetups at hotels. This was going on from the first week into our marriage. I felt like my world crumbled in front of me. I took screenshots of every message and saved on my phone. Next day I contacted M and let her know about the affair. They were married for 4 years and had their first baby almost exact same time as we had ours. I confronted my wife and told her that I am going to give her divorce. She started crying and everything else, but I did not consider it. I also did paternity test on our child, son, because the affair timeline was same as conception date. After 2 days, when I come home from work, our baby was crying in our bed and X was nowhere to be seen. Then I found a letter of her telling that she did not love me and she had left with AP and to not contact them. I knew this was coming, but I didn't believe that a mother can leave her child, was about 6 months, alone and can run off with her lover. I then went to M's house. She had received same letter by her husband. I felt sorry for her as she was going from postpartum depression, had her baby just a few months ago and was left alone. Also, paternity test result came back and he was my son. I tried to contact X family, but they also didn't know where she was and was shocked by her behavior. Her father even said that if she ever came back she would not be allowed to enter their house. They basically disowned her. L was very supportive. She began coming to my home to watch kids and even breastfed both of them, her and mine. As time passed, we were like family. My son called her mom and had known only her as mom. We also decided to go on dates. We engaged a year later and married in 2013. We had our first child in 2015. We often discussed things about our exes and how we were often disrespected by them. We were happy family. In 2018, when my son accidentally saw a picture of my ex, picture after birth, so it included X, me and him, so we decided to tell him that her birth mother X had died in car accident years ago and L took care of him since he was 6 months old. 2 days ago, I received an anonymous email. I opened it and it read, "I want to see my son and want my family back. We are not divorced yet." I knew it was X. I showed this to LL, started freaking out and asked me if I would take her back. I calmed her down and told her that she was an ugly past and I would never leave you. I would never take her back. Now I am confused what to do. I will definitely not take her back, but should I let her meet my son or not? Should I take my son's opportunity to have connection with her birth mother? Update. Thank you for such a response. A lot has happened since the last time. Also, I didn't wanted to post the update as many people in comments thought it as fake, but till this day, I am getting messages of updates, so I decided to update you all. So let's start by saying this, that we didn't require court or lawyer. Some of you claimed that she would have no parental rights over my son as she had abandoned us years ago. To confirm the claim, I contacted my friend, who is a lawyer, and confirmed that she could face heavy fine, termination of parental rights and jail. I told him about the time period of abandonment and asked what were the chances of winning in my case. He told me that if a parent fails to contact physically to child for over a year, 99% she is given termination of parental rights. I had a sigh of relief after listening those words. I also joined therapy with my son so that I can tell him the truth about his biological mother. As I wanted to find out that why she contacted me after 10 years, I messaged her father, who is still a best friend of mine and gives me some good advice, whether X contacted his family or not. Turns out that she had contacted her sister for money time to time for 10 years, but now her sister is not willing to help her as she was asking a bit more money. I asked him about her conditions and whether introducing her to my son would be a good idea or not. He answered by saying, she just has a minimum wage job and lives in small apartment with 3 roommates. By listening him saying this, I felt bad for her, but she earned it. He said that she would have a bad influence on our son, so it's better not to introduce him to X. Next, I called her sister and asked her what were their conversations like in past 10 years. She told me everything. How X contacted her only for money because after paying rent, she had no money left for groceries and other utilities. X never asked about my son but only for money. I asked her about relationship between X and AP, to which she replied, "He is in prison for sexual assault since 2015. I don't know why, but I felt happy upon hearing this news. I asked her whether X knows about the divorce or not. She said X has no idea about the divorce and she still thinks that we are legally married. I asked her to tell X about everything: divorce, child custody, my new family, and that she has no right over my son. I told everything to M and she was a bit surprised by X's behavior. She never thought that a mother can be so careless towards her own child. She was shocked to hear the news about AP. It's been 30 days and X has not contacted us. Family counseling is going great and we have decided to legally adopt one another as kids. I don't think X will contact, as her sister might have told her about her position in case legally and that she would just waste money by hiring an attorney. If something happens, I'll update you guys." Story 2. Finally split with WP. I'm broken. He's joined dating apps. So I finally split with my WP on April 30th, 13 months after finding out that he'd been online dating, having S*X with girls via Skype and just generally sending and receiving nudes from a lot of different women our entire relationship. We'd been doing couples therapy and he's been doing individual therapy, and I was doing everything I could to keep us together. It seemed so strange after everything, but what finally did it for me was that he never bothered to get me anything for my birthday on the 28th of April. I asked him about it and he just said that because I had bought myself a new phone in March, because mine had completely stopped working, that he didn't think he needed to. Generally I feel a lot better. However, I was just switching his phone off for the night as he'd fallen asleep and forgotten to do it, and as I was closing his tabs I saw an email saying that he had had a reply on a dating site. I know I shouldn't have, but I looked through and he pretty much immediately joined like 5 different dating sites, and even paid for a couple. On one of them, a few hours after joining, he got reported for sexual harassment. He was just messaging everyone with, "Hey S*XY, hey hot stuff," and trying to meet up with them for sex. I know we aren't together anymore, but for some reason this feels like betrayal all over again. We are still living together currently as we haven't quite figured everything out yet, and for reasons I won't get into, it can't be widely known that we've split up. I feel sick to my stomach. I'm so sad and angry at him for doing this to me. For making me feel loved and safe. For planning a life and having kids with me, when it was all lie. I don't regret my children at all and I love them more than anything. I just hate that I had them with him. I don't know what I'm after here. I guess I just need people who understand to tell me I'm not crazy.